On August 5, 2025, Ted Stevens Anchorage International Airport began like any other day, calm, routine, and unremarkable. The sun rose over the Chugach Mountains, casting a golden glow across the tarmac as the city of Anchorage slowly came to life. Inside, travelers moved through the terminals, sipping coffee, checking their phones, and chatting quietly with loved ones. Most were blissfully unaware of the looming crisis that would soon upend their plans and change the course of their day. Suddenly, a security breach shattered the morning calm. Sirens blared as emergency vehicles converged on the scene, paralyzing Alaska's largest airport and sending shockwaves across the nation. The sense of safety was instantly replaced by confusion and fear. This was no drill. It was a real-time emergency that tested every protocol in place, pushing airport staff and first responders to their limits as they scrambled to secure the area and protect travelers. For Alaskans, air travel is a lifeline, not a luxury. The events of that morning threatened to sever vital connections for remote communities, where planes are often the only link to the outside world. Fragmented reports spread rapidly: a suspicious package, a credible threat, and even rumors of a potential attack on a Seattle-bound flight. Anxiety grew as passengers and staff awaited updates, unsure of what would happen next. The nation watched in real time as a routine travel day turned into a high-stakes drama. News outlets scrambled to cover the unfolding story, broadcasting live images of the airport and speculating about the nature of the threat. The incident exposed vulnerabilities in regional airports, critical links for isolated areas yet often seen as softer targets by those seeking to exploit security gaps. Suddenly, the safety of every small airport in America was called into question. Federal agencies were immediately on alert, recognizing this was a calculated test of national defenses. The Department of Homeland Security and FBI coordinated efforts, determined to uncover the truth and prevent further incidents. The scare forced a re-evaluation of security at regional airports, highlighting the delicate balance between accessibility and safety. New measures were discussed, and the need for vigilance became clearer than ever. What happened in Anchorage was more than a local emergency. It was a wake-up call for the entire country. Headlines blared warnings, and officials everywhere took notice, realizing that no airport was immune. The quiet morning was shattered, and its echoes would be felt far beyond Alaska. The sense of normalcy was gone, replaced by a lingering unease that would take time to fade. As law enforcement investigators gathered evidence and the FBI entered the terminal, the nation braced for answers. The investigation was just beginning, and everyone wanted to know what really happened that morning in Anchorage. The crisis began at exactly 7:15 a.m., just as the airport was coming alive with the first wave of travelers. The morning sun was rising, casting long shadows across the bustling terminal as people hurried to check in for their flights. It was then that a vigilant security officer noticed an unattended black duffel bag sitting conspicuously near a crowded ticketing counter, raising immediate suspicion. Following strict protocol, airport staff made urgent announcements over the public address system, asking if anyone would claim the bag. But despite repeated calls, no one stepped forward. Within minutes, police responded swiftly, cordoning off the area and beginning a rapid evacuation of passengers from the terminal to ensure everyone's safety. Upon closer inspection, officers discovered a chilling handwritten note attached to the bag. The message threatened a Seattle-bound flight, claiming there was a sophisticated, undetectable explosive device inside. The situation escalated rapidly. What began as a routine security check had now turned into a full-blown potential terrorist plot, with law enforcement on high alert. By 7:45 a.m., the bomb squad had arrived on the scene. They wasted no time deploying a remote-controlled robot to carefully inspect the suspicious bag from a safe distance. Live video feeds showed the robot's camera revealing a complex device inside, with visible wires and what appeared to be explosives, confirming the threat was real. As a result, all flights were immediately halted. Planes already on the ground remained stationary, while incoming flights were diverted to other airports. The FAA responded by issuing a rare nationwide ground stop for Anchorage, causing delays and confusion across the country as the situation unfolded. At precisely 9:05 a.m., after tense hours of uncertainty, the bomb squad neutralized the device using a high-powered water cannon, performing a controlled detonation. The aftermath revealed that the device was indeed a viable, though crudely constructed, improvised explosive device. Forensic teams immediately began collecting evidence from the scene. Thanks to the quick response, disaster was averted. Relief was palpable among staff and passengers, but attention quickly turned to the urgent task of finding the perpetrator. A massive investigation was launched with local police, the FBI, and other agencies racing against time to uncover who was behind the attempted attack. The airport remained sealed off, with armed officers patrolling the empty terminals as authorities worked tirelessly to piece together clues and search for answers. The response at Anchorage International was a model of interagency cooperation. Local police and fire departments evacuated the terminal and secured the perimeter, preventing panic. Within an hour, federal agencies joined. The FBI led the criminal investigation, with TSA and ATF providing expertise on security and explosives. A unified command center coordinated every move, ensuring real-time information sharing and synchronized action. The FAA, Homeland Security, and military representatives managed airspace and public communications. Forensic teams analyzed the device and scene, lifting fingerprints and DNA. Cybersecurity experts scoured online forums for clues, while TSA reviewed security footage using facial recognition. The blend of on-the-ground police work and advanced technology was crucial in the race to identify the suspect. Every agency played a role, united by a single goal: prevent further danger and bring the perpetrator to justice. The clock was ticking. The investigation's breakthrough came from a crucial piece of surveillance footage. Early that morning, a masked individual carrying a distinctive black duffel bag entered the airport terminal at precisely 6:45 a.m. The grainy video captured the figure moving with purpose, their every step calculated and deliberate. The suspect skillfully avoided eye contact with both staff and cameras, carefully placing the bag in a high-traffic area before quickly exiting the scene. Their identity was hidden behind a hat, dark sunglasses, and a medical mask, making recognition nearly impossible at first glance. Investigators and analysts meticulously reviewed hours of footage, focusing on the suspect's gait, clothing, and subtle behaviors. Soon, they released enhanced images to the public, hoping someone might recognize a detail others missed. The response was overwhelming. Thousands of tips poured in from concerned citizens, casting a wide net across Alaska and even reaching neighboring states as the search for answers intensified. Meanwhile, forensic experts examined the device left behind. Their analysis revealed a high level of technical skill and a unique method of assembly, suggesting the suspect had specialized knowledge in both electronics and chemistry, skills not commonly found together. The real breakthrough came when a gloved forensic expert discovered a partial fingerprint on a strip of black tape used in the device. This tiny clue would prove to be the game-changer investigators desperately needed. Within just 24 hours, advanced fingerprint analysis matched the print to Arthur Jensen, a 42-year-old former electronics technician. Jensen was already known to authorities for his anti-government views and online activity. Jensen, active on extremist forums, had never been charged with violence but was on law enforcement's radar due to his radical posts and connections. His digital footprint painted a picture of growing discontent and isolation. Now, with a name and a face, the manhunt for Jensen intensified. Teams of police and federal agents mobilized, studying his habits and possible hideouts. A federal warrant was swiftly issued, and the search for Jensen quickly became headline news across the country, drawing national attention to the unfolding drama. The case fit a troubling and all-too-familiar pattern: a lone actor, radicalized online, acting out of personal ideology and resentment, leaving authorities racing to prevent further harm. Piece by piece, the mystery was unraveling fast as investigators connected the dots and closed in on their suspect, determined to bring the case to a close. The Anchorage incident was a wake-up call for U.S. security. Regional airports, vital yet less fortified, proved vulnerable to determined attackers. The IED, though crude, was designed to evade detection, its construction techniques widely available online. This democratization of terrorist tactics makes lone wolf attacks harder to predict and prevent. The scare prompted immediate reviews of employee vetting and accelerated new security screenings for aviation workers. Experts warned that insider threats could be even more devastating. The event underscored the shift from large, organized plots to unpredictable, decentralized threats. Security must now be agile, ready for dangers from anywhere, at any time. News of the bomb threat dominated headlines, reigniting public anxiety about air travel. Polls showed a sharp spike in concern, the highest in years. The 8-hour ground stop at Anchorage canceled over 150 flights, disrupted global cargo, and isolated remote Alaskan communities. Emergency flights were arranged for critical supplies and patients, exposing the fragility of Alaska's air lifeline. Nationwide, airports ramped up security, longer lines, more checks, and a visible law enforcement presence. While meant to reassure, these measures added to travel chaos. The incident reminded Americans of the delicate balance between freedom of movement and the need for vigilance. For many, the disruption was a stark lesson in how quickly normalcy can vanish. The nation was on edge, waiting for answers. Experts quickly drew parallels to past plots like the shoe and underwear bombers. The Anchorage device left in a public area aimed for mass disruption rather than bringing down a plane. This tactic mirrors attacks in Brussels and Istanbul, targeting soft, accessible airport zones. Dr. Errol Southers noted a shift: extremists now bypass checkpoints, focusing on vulnerable public spaces for maximum psychological impact. Data shows a 40% rise in attacks on non-secure areas of transportation hubs in recent years. These open spaces are hard to secure without turning airports into fortresses. The lessened security perimeters must expand outward, with more behavioral detection, unpredictable patrols, and surveillance in pre-screening areas. A vigilant public and trained staff are the first line of defense. Security must evolve, learning from each new threat. The Anchorage scare fit a troubling trend, one that demands constant adaptation. The past is a guide, but the threat keeps changing. Officials moved swiftly to reassure the public. Anchorage's mayor praised first responders and promised a safe, quick reopening. Homeland Security's Secretary Mayorkas called it an act of domestic terrorism and vowed justice. The White House expressed gratitude for law enforcement and pledged full federal support. Americans were urged to remain vigilant but not fearful. Behind the scenes, TSA briefed airlines and airports, enforcing stricter security directives. Increased employee screenings and patrols were ordered nationwide. The message: the threat was serious, but the response was strong and coordinated. Confidence in security systems was critical, even as new measures rolled out. The Anchorage scare ended without loss of life thanks to vigilant officers and coordinated agencies. A viable bomb was neutralized, a suspect identified, and a tragedy averted, but the disruption was massive. The incident exposed both strengths and vulnerabilities in airport security, especially in open public areas. The case of Arthur Jensen highlighted the growing threat of lone actors radicalized online. Despite rapid response, the fact that a bomb reached a terminal revealed a critical gap. As security adapts, one question remains: how do we fully protect open public spaces in a free society? The next evolution in this deadly game is coming. Will we be ready?